One simple question. Who will be where in 2021? Let's go. What is going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day, so whether you agree with me, want to talk trash with me, or talk trash to me, I think you're going to enjoy this channel. I've talked about the coaching carousel earlier this month. Well, it's starting to get ramped up just a little bit more. First, of course, South Carolina fired head coach Will Muschamp with a $13 million buyout, and that's not including his assistants. Then more recently, Vanderbilt fired their head coach as well. I think there's two more high probabilities of coaches getting fired. The first one, Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Look, he hasn't won a Big Ten title. He hasn't beaten Ohio State. And this year, Michigan just looks bad. They're having a losing season, and they gave Penn State their first win of the year. This is not looking good for Michigan. Last but not least, Tom Herman at Texas. I mean, he's an okay coach, I guess. He hasn't really done anything spectacular at Texas. They haven't won a Big 12 championship, which is the goal at Texas, and to get to the playoffs, and that's definitely hasn't happened. Does Texas get rid of Tom Herman? There's a long list that South Carolina and Vanderbilt, and then possibly Michigan, Texas could be looking at as well. Let's get into it. Now, some of these, my personal opinion, and some of these I've actually looked into channels that talk about these specific teams, what they're saying. So it's a little bit of both. Here are the hot names. Tony Elliott, the offensive coordinator out of Clemson. He's been tugged at before, but nothing majorly. Would he make the jump to, I don't know, South Carolina, an in-state rival, if the price was right? I don't know. A big name. Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator out of Clemson. He came from Oklahoma, so could he go over to a rival school of Oklahoma, say Texas, and try to build a program there? Texas can pay him. Or what about Michigan? Michigan has the money as well. I think if any two schools have the chance to grab Brent Venables, it would be Michigan or Texas. Their recent lack of success would be a great time to try to get a hold of this guy. Recent success has made these next few names high on the list. The first one, Billy Napier. He is the head coach of Louisiana Lafayette. They've had great success this year, and he has regional ties to South Carolina. He graduated from Furman, which is in the upstate of South Carolina. I actually drive by it a lot. And he coached at Clemson, so this would be kind of a conflict, but I've seen worse. Jamie Chadwell out of Coastal Carolina. He's having a lot of success over there, and that's regional as well for South Carolina. A lot of talk for Shane Beamer. He's a Oklahoma assistant, and he's the son of Frank Beamer. Could he go over to Texas if that were to become vacant? Dave Clawson out of Wake Forest. He hasn't had a ton of success at Wake Forest, but Wake Forest isn't really built for success, so he's been doing good for what he has. So would somebody go off on a limb and give him a chance? Could Will Muschamp. He was fired from South Carolina, but with the coaching carousel, maybe he could land at Vanderbilt or, Liberty if Hugh Freeze left, or Coastal Carolina. Who knows? The options are endless. Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. He's a very high on the list. He's having great success at Cincinnati. He has ties with a lot of high caliber names like Urban Meyer, so that might be enough for a Texas or a Michigan to try to grab him. I don't think South Carolina or Vanderbilt would be high enough on the list for him to jump ship at Cincinnati. Jeff Monken, he's head coach at Army. He's having great success over there, but he does have familiarity in the SEC. He could be a good fit for South Carolina or Vanderbilt. Now, if you're looking to rebuild a program from the ground up, Will Healy, he might be a good candidate for South Carolina or Vanderbilt. He's at Charlotte right now. Not a lot of experience, very young coach, but if you're looking to build from the ground up and you have a lot of faith in this guy, might be worth reaching out to. Joe Brady, he is the Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator. This guy could be a good fit for South Carolina or Vanderbilt because he does have SEC experience because he was at LSU. Steve Sarkisian. He got fired from USC because he didn't do all that great. So now he's the Alabama offensive coordinator. So he could jump into the carousel and try to get into another SEC head coaching job. But the problem is, I don't think he would be a good fit for South Carolina because they would be doing the same thing they did with Steve Spurrier and Will Muschamp. They had success with Steve Spurrier, but not with Will Muschamp. And I don't think Steve Sarkisian is that high caliber of a coach. But he is a name. He is familiar with the SEC, and he is a Saban coaching assistant. So South Carolina, Vanderbilt might be interested in this guy, but definitely not Michigan or Texas. Believe it or not, our coach for West Virginia, head coach Neil Brown, his name has popped up as well too. I'm not taking it all that serious, but you never know, especially if Michigan or Texas opens up because they have a lot of money. So we need to keep our eyes and ears out on that. That would be a big, big blow to West Virginia. He is 100% rebuilding our program, and we do not want that to happen. Last but not least, Hugh Freeze. I mean, the guy comes with baggage, but he does have success wherever he goes. He had great success at Ole Miss, got fired because of his shenanigans, goes over to Liberty, and now he's having great success over there. So he's familiar with the SEC, and he's a successful head coach. And it looks like he's turned his ridiculous ways around, so he might be worth grabbing onto as far as South Carolina goes. Not sure about the rest of them, but for South Carolina, Hugh Freeze could be a good fit. So that's all I got for you for this show. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.